Greetings in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Dear viewers, today we'll be discussing about a very common topic, that is circumcision in Christianity. Friends, to discuss circumcision, we need to look at the biblical history of circumcision. It was basically an agreement between God and Abraham, a covenant between God and Abraham as discussed in Genesis chapter 17. Later on, it was a covenant between God and the Jewish nation as explained in Exodus chapter 12. Friends, as we all know, that Old Testament is the shadow of New Testament, and Old Testament is the religion of rituals and fleshly traditions, whereas the New Testament is all about purifying your hearts and not the flesh. It does not deal with flesh. It deals with the inner self of a human being. As we all know that God was in a process of bringing the mankind from temporary things to eternal things, from physical to spiritual. We find this concept of God in Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 16, where God emphasizes on the circumcision of heart instead of the circumcision of flesh. Now, when we look at the history of New Testament or circumcision in New Testament, in Romans chapter 3, Paul clearly tells that what is the value of circumcision, or what is the advantage that a Jew is having over another. No. Paul focuses on equality and the purification of heart, not on the distinction on the basis of your flesh. Further, we find that in chapter 15 of Acts, the Pharisees who were being converted from Christianity commanded the newly converted Christians to be circumcised and keep all the Mosaic law. Now, when this came to the knowledge of Apostle Peter, he stood up and he criticized those Pharisees, and he explained them that why do you test God by putting the yoke on the neck of the disciples, the yoke which even your forefathers were not able to bear. Friends, and in Galatians chapter 6 verse 12, Paul summarizes all this. Paul tells that the people who compel other Christians to be circumcised are the one who want to boast on the basis of their flesh rather than being persecuted for the cross of Christ. So, when we look in the New Testament, we find that the teachings of our Lord Jesus Christ was based on the inner humanity, on the purification of heart. And accordingly, our Lord brings the mankind from fleshly to eternal purification of your inner human being. And circumcision is also one of them. It was a worldly tradition, a fleshly tradition, not applicable to the Christians today. However, circumcision could be done from a medical point of view, but not biblically. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.